What is botany? That's what we're talking about today on Homeschool Arcade. Hey everyone, this is Homeschool Arcade and we're talking about botany. Now if you like this video and our content, go ahead and click subscribe, like, and the bell to be notified, and don't be shy to share our content with others. So let's get into it. What is botany? Well, in simplest terms, botany, or plant science, is the scientific study of plants. But wait, you might be thinking, really, that's it? That's all there is to it? But in fact, the study of plants can be a very complicated area of knowledge. To name a few, the areas of study in botany can include plant physiology, which is how plants function, their structure, genetics, or their distribution, meaning where they're found. It also includes ecology, how plant life relates with other organisms. It includes also plant disease or plant classification, how they're grouped into groups of similar plants, or even how plants affect economies. Botany is extremely important for a multitude of reasons. Primarily, we depend on plants for, well, replenishing oxygen and for our food supplies. And even if we aren't eating a plant, whatever we're eating got its energy somehow, directly or indirectly, from a plant. Our lives and our planet depend on plants, and that's not an over-exaggeration. Additionally, plants are used in many medications and are an irreplaceable resource we use for products such as lumber, paper, cloth, clothing. It's also interesting to note that while they're not technically plants, botany has also traditionally included the study of, well, fungi and algae. Now, someone who takes the time to study plants, a scientist who studies plants, is called a botanist, or sometimes a phytologist. Now, if you love plants, there are a lot of different jobs out there in this field. There's research botanists who can perform research in nature, greenhouses, or farms, and they can research a wide variety of things such as diseases, growth, production, and yield. Botanists can also focus on agricultural applications such as fuel, food, and fiber. And believe it or not, you can even get a degree in studying turf science. We're not too far from Michigan State University. They have a turf science degree, which are the grasses commonly used in places like golf courses and sports fields. And yet another botanist focus is on conservation of endangered species, or eliminating or removing invasive plant species. Also, plant lovers can become landscape architects or work at or even own their own floral shops, greenhouses, or farms. Quite a few different things you can do in botany. Now, let's take a second to talk a bit about the types of plants. Now, if you want to see some more info about how classification works, check out our video on animal classification. Now, in the plant kingdom, there are 12 phyla, which we'll list out in an end slide, which you're welcome to pause and take a look at, but those can be broken down into 4 major groups. The first is called bryophytes, which are generally small, seedless plants such as mosses. And the second group is pteridophytes, which includes ferns and similar plants which have a more complex structure, but also lack seeds. The third major group is gymnosperms, which includes plants with seeds but no flowers, such as like evergreens or redwoods and cypress. And the last group is angiosperms, which includes all flowering plants that also have seeds. Now, to talk about some of the famous botanists out in this field, some include Linnaeus and George Washington Carver. Now, Linnaeus, who lived in the mid-1700s, helped to create the classification system, and we talk about that in that earlier video also, which will be in the description. And he developed the binomial nomenclature for classification. This is a 2-part Latin scientific term that is used in taxonomy, or classifying all living creatures to this day. Now, George Washington Carver was an agricultural scientist and inventor who created hundreds of products using peanuts and sweet potatoes and soybeans, and he also helped many farmers to increase their crop yields by teaching them about things such as soil chemistry and crop rotation. So, what is botany? It is the science of plants, but it is so much more than that at the same time. So go check it out and keep learning more about it. And again, if you like this content in our videos, click subscribe, like, and the bell, and share this with your friends. Y'all have a good one.